and I honestly feel like a pig in shit. It's cholera, diarrhea, typhoid, amoebic dysentery and salmonella. Right, it's Friday the 5th of May 2023. It's 2 days after I collected the van and the day after I had the diesel heater fitted, and I did that kind of bike adventure up on Dartmoor. Feel surprisingly good today, actually. I did manage to get a fairly good night's sleep. I managed to get about 5 or 6 hours sleep last night. Recently it's been, 3 or 4 with this cough, and I can feel I've done quite a bit of exercise yesterday, but I feel pretty good. So hopefully I've got 4 days to sort of tinker with the van and try and get some sleep. I'll probably have some naps during the day and try and chill out a bit because it's been so busy. But so today is the first opportunity to start having a look at the van. I need to, they didn't have time to sterilise the tank, the water tank, so I need to do that. It's probably going to be the first thing I do, and then I'll kind of half fill it with water probably. But I don't have any gripes about that at all, because I actually got quite a lot of extra things with the van that I didn't expect. I got 4 brand new tyres, and they replaced the front disc pads and the rear brake shoes. So I've got all fully maintained brakes, and a full MOT with no advisory, so I'm very pleased about that. So yeah, I'm going to start sorting the water thing out. I've just got to work out how long I need to put the tabs in. But also, the bed has been lowered by about 8 inches by some previous owners, and it means that I can't get my mountain bike into the back with the front tyre in. I have to take the front wheel out and lower the seat. It's a complete pain in the ass, and I'm trying to get 2 bikes in there really neatly and fit other stuff around it. So I need to sort of have a little look about how I might raise the bed back up. I mean, I'm sure I can do it. I just need to work out how it's been lowered and what I need to put in there to lift it back up again. But I don't want to limit my headroom in the bedroom space, which is back here. It's got some nasty stains on the mattress. It's quite gross, but yeah, anyway, that's going to be my chill out zone. So yeah, it's all really exciting. I've been wanting to do this for a long time, so I think I'm just going to start with that, put the tabs in. I'll probably have to leave it for a few hours, something like that, and then I can get on with tinkering with other stuff. I've just got to find homes for everything. It's so compact in here. There's quite a lot of kind of space in here that doesn't get utilised. It's like underneath the desk. A lot of the time I could put a small cupboard or boxes or duffel bags or something like that under there. So I think there are lots of interesting ways of kind of utilising your space in really clever ways. And I'm a really creative person. I like doing these videos. I like doing lots of exercise, but I make music and stuff like that. And for me, this van although it's slightly on the small side for me, it gives me the opportunity to be really creative in the utilisation of space and in my life. And then looking at this here, this area was cut back above the driver's heads. And again, there's about a square metre of space there that's just not used. And I've got some bits of wood that I think might span this area here, and will create about an extra, like, almost, 3/4 of a cubic metre of storage space. And if I put a lip on there, I could put, big bags with stuff in there. There's all sorts of stuff that I would like to bring on these adventures that I won't use very often, like surfing stuff and climbing stuff. And I would like to try and get as much of my fun gear in here as possible. So it's just a way working out how much I can get in here sensibly. So yeah, let's get going. So because this van, this is a Heimer 522, German built van, it's designed for winter use. It used to get used a lot for like ski seasons and stuff like that. So it's really well insulated. And also the water tank here, I think it's a 125 litre water tank. It's inboard, which does mean it takes up all the space under the like double seat by the bench. But it means it's much less likely to have issues with freezing water in the winter. I've just got to lift there's a foam cushion. There's an extra piece of plywood in there that I don't know quite why is in there, but it may be just to protect the tank. I've got to yeah, lift up the plywood, yeah, lift up the foam, lift up the plywood. There's another bit that's on a hinge, lift that up, and then you have to pull out the pump, which is screwed in, and then there's a small drain plug inside. So I would do that. I might have to kind of swill that out a little bit because I'm not parked on the level here. I'm on a tiny bit of a slope, but I've got a fairly hardy constitution. I think if I sterilise everything and then flush the worst of it out, I think it will be fine. You know, there is a bit of a debate about whether you use that for drinking water or not, but I've got this backup 25 litre tank that I could potentially use for drinking water, keep that in the back. But these are all the joys, all the interesting things to consider as I move forward with this. So that's the removable sort of access hole. This is the pump that you can just pull out of the way, and then in there is the drain plug. So let's just have a look at these tablets and see how long I need to leave them in there. I don't know if they're trying to scare us a little bit, but these tablets, it says, wherever you go at home or abroad, guard against illness caused by contaminated stored water. Aquamidi tabs destroys organisms which cause cholera, diarrhea, typhoid, amoebic dysentery and salmonella. So yeah, that should do the trick. There's 32 tablets, one for every 25 litres. So that'll be, what, 5 for a full tank. So I've got a 25 litre container that I can fill up, and then I'll just decant that into this tank, and looks like I can just leave the tablets in there and they'll be ready to go. So I'll probably put about 75 litres in there or something. And then I can just leave that and that'll be done. So that's perfect. So, all right, let's do that. Yeah, I put about another sort of 2-3 litres of water in there, and then just sort of took the plug out and then just slooshed it all out. So it's all been draining out and running into a drain, but in the gutter. And yeah, I managed to get most of the kind of unidentified black stuff that's floating in the water out. There's a little bit left, but I'm sure that the tablets are going to sterilise everything well enough. So I'll put the plug back in, and then I'll fill the tank up about halfway, and see how that lasts for my 3 days away. Should easily get me through. But I'll stick that and put some tabs in, and that'll be that little job ticked off the list. Yeah, I've just found out that trying to fill a whole 25 litre jerry can full of water and pouring it into that is a bit ambitious, and I spilled quite a lot, so I won't be doing that again. But it is quite handy to know that I can, you know, refill the tank from the top if I end up somewhere and I haven't got, the hose pipe isn't long enough, or I can't get to the pipe. As long as I can get some water into my jerry can, I can then pour it in through the top of the tank, so it gives me an option should I need it. So this is the main big cupboard by the habitation door, and it had some funny bits of shelving that were kind of glued inside, and they were in the way. So David from Leisure Heat put my diesel heater in, so the diesel heater is under here. He needed to take all of this out, and then he lifted that up slightly and replaced it. But he took all this stuff out, so I'm going to chuck all this. I'm going to take these things out. I don't know what they are. I think they might be something to do with some weird shelving, but I don't like them. They're going to go. So then I'm just going to clear everything out of that except the hook at the top. And this will probably be like for coats and stuff like that, or any larger items that I need to kind of fit in there. But if I just clear everything out and start from scratch, then I can work out what I think is important for me to bring with me and what I can fit in there. I've got a few ideas already, so I'm going to clear that lot out. We had to raise the floor up a bit in that, but the thing I want to put in there is slightly longer. It's about 2 inches longer than this, so I'm going to try and pull this out and see what's underneath it, and either move stuff back this way a little bit and then hopefully just cut that back edge off and allow me to put this thing in there. So this is the diesel heater installation done by David Wilkinson at Leisure Heat, which is really amazing, 4 kilowatt. He's put the base of this cover back in to give it a bit of a vent above it, but there's quite a lot of space that's free behind above that EMS box. So I think I can put a step in there, and if I drop that step down, I only need about 2 or 3 inches, and then the thing that I want to fit in there will go in. So I'm probably going to chop the base down. I'm going to offer this thing that I want to put in there, and then chop the base down and put a lower step and fix it to that back wall somehow, I think. And if that fits, then it means that I don't have to spend more money on making that other thing fit or trying to find somewhere else, because this is the ideal spot for it. So I'm going to take some measurements and see if I can get it in there. Yeah, I've just taken the measurements and it really fits in there a treat. It does mean that this rail is going to be interfering with it, but it is about 1.5 inches, 2 inches lower than it needs to be, really. It does slide out, but I don't need it to slide out. So I think I'm going to take that out, take out everything else that's blocking, put a step in the bottom of it, and then offer this thing back in there again, and then put a rail back in. However, it doesn't need to be fancy like that. So now I've got the main base thing back in place. It's got a couple of those little things that you push in that you know, rest your shelf on, and these 2 screws here. In the back I've just fitted a couple of small uprights there, and back over here they're just screwed in. I just double checked I'm not going to screw into any wires. And then yeah, I've had to slightly modify the other piece that I cut off to fit lower down. It's just it was fouling some of the wires that are down there, so I've just opened these up a little bit and then filed the edges so that they're not going to damage any of the wires, and then it just fits back in here. It's 4 inches above the ground, the base level. It leaves about 1 inch above all the wiring and that EMS in there, and there's also a gap here so it can breathe around there, and a little bit at the back, so there's plenty of air moving through. And let me just, and yeah, the thing that I need to fit in there now fits. So I've got coats in there now, and there's a bit of space at the bottom that I can pack maybe a little duffel bag or something like that. So it's Saturday the 6th of May. This morning went to Park Run, which is right on the edge of Dartmoor, near Bovey Tracy, and ran that with a group of friends, some other kind of van friends, and my friend Ben. So I'm back in Exeter now. Amazingly, got a parking spot right outside my front door again, which is absolutely unheard of. I think I've been here for nearly a year, and I've only ever had that happen twice with my car, and I've done it twice with the van now, so I'm just sort of, yeah, shocked, but very pleasantly so. So a couple of things to do today. I'm gradually kind of moving bits and pieces into the van. I've had a bag that I've been chucking stuff in that I think is stuff that'd be really useful just to carry in the van, bits and pieces. I've just put my sat nav in and stuff like that. I'm just going to find homes for them. So this is the shelf. This was cut out above the cab before, and there's about a cubic meter of storage there that wasn't used before. So I had some old, I used to get bits of wood from if you go to recycling centres, you can often find like the wood from an old futon bed just wrapped up and tied up with string, and you can buy it for like £5 or something, and you end up with, these are almost 1.4 meters in length, and I've put, there were 5 or 6 of them up there, and it's really sturdy. And so yeah, I'll probably have a couple of big duffel bags full of like seasonal clothes, like winter clothes and stuff like that, and things like crampons and all that kind of winter gear. Maybe things like snowboard boots. I quite like to get into split snowboarding. Not sure I'll get an opportunity, but if I end up staying in Scotland, this winter in the van, and it's possibly something I can invest in, get a split board and find some people I could do that with. So I'm very pleased with the way that's worked out. That was something in the back of my mind ever since I saw this van. So that's something ticked off. So this van has some really cool blinds in it, and most of them work really easily. The ones in the front have a sort of concertina effect, and I think the ones here, especially in those little court lights, are really fiddly, and one of them was a little bit broken when I came to look at it. They have fixed that now. But I'm just thinking that sometimes when I'm camping wild, if I've been driving all day and I've then got to shut everything up before I sort of jump into bed, it'll be much easier if I also have some curtains. So the plan is just to have some curtains that I can just quickly draw straight across, and it'll save me faffing around with those. I mean, I think if I'm parked up for several nights in a row, I'll use the front ones, but it might even help with keeping the heat in the main part of the van as well. But so I've just put this a normal kind of netting curtain rail. I'm a bit stuck with this garage thing at the moment. If I raise it up, if I raise the bed up too high, I lose the ability to sit upright against the back wall or one of the sideboards and look out the window. But it doesn't look as though it's massively difficult to raise it up, so I might have a look and see if there's a way of raising it up a couple of inches, or maybe even take out that shelf that my head would be hitting if I raise it up, and either take it out and maybe move it up, or see if I can do something without causing too much damage to the van, because obviously I'm thinking ahead in the years to come. This is maybe a 2-year venture, but it might carry on for 5 years or something. I don't know. It depends what happens on the way. But I don't want to cause it any kind of damage that will devalue the van. Yeah, anyway, I'm going to be tinkering that, because the garage space just isn't working for me at all at the moment. It's really frustrating. And it means I'd have to take both wheels out of the mountain and lower the seat every time I use it, and it means getting grease on your hands. I mean, I could end up wearing gloves and stuff like that to avoid bringing greasy hands into the van, but that's something I need to give a little bit more thought to. Yeah, just working through a list of things, and now I've got the van and I've used it a few times. I've got much more comfortable reversing it and driving it around. Driving around town is absolutely fine, and I honestly feel like a pig in shit. It's just like having so much fun, and being a creative person and absolutely loving finally getting hold of the van and using my creativity to work out how I can fit everything in here.